So this story time is by Bella. Thank you for sending your story. Okay, so story time about how my bestie turned into my enemy. A little background information. We had been friends for 2 years, and she helped me get my boyfriend. It was a week before Easter holidays and we were at her house getting ready for school. I told her that I was wearing my crop top and we could match. All of a sudden she says if it wasn't for me you wouldn't have friends. I was surprised because I didn't know where that came from. I left the room in tears and we didn't speak for the rest of the day. The next day she says sorry, but for the next 2 days, she does it again. Because my boyfriend is her BFF since 2nd grade, I asked him to talk to her. Turns out she was jealous of me and my boyfriend friends that she decided to be mean. Now we are not friends, and my boyfriend broke up with me because of her.
If anyone's wanting to know how to get revenge on someone who spread rumors about you, listen to this story and it may come in handy. So
Oh my God,
I have a friend that we can
yes.
call Miranda, who was obsessed with me. I was genuinely friends with her, but she would never give me a break. I could not get a breather from her at any point in time. Everywhere I went, she went. And this girl would actually get so upset with me anytime I would go over to another friend's house. I knew she was really insecure and just trying to get attention, so I tried to be patient with her. However, one day I just could not take it anymore. I got into a massive fight with her over how overprotective she is. I literally said, "You are a stage 5 clinger." And in response, this girl ended up joining my basketball and softball team, which I've been on for forever. She told her mom that I was bullying her, which was a complete lie, but then her mom went to the coaches. She got me kicked off the team and then continued to spread rumors about me. I ended up losing my best friends and even my boyfriend over the rumors that she spread about me. So that's when I decided to get revenge. So I decided that I was going to send her over an apology gift with makeup in it, which was a mix of drugstore items and poison ivy. So I got revenge on my obsessive best friend for spreading rumors about me. So I put together an apology gift for her for bullying her, even though I did not. The gift that I put together was some makeup I got from Walgreens, but I decided to add some poison ivy to the eyeshadow so that she would get a rash. I then set up a hidden camera and watched as she put it on. And as expected, the rash started to form. After she noticed, I started to tell her off and accuse her of all the stuff she did to me, and she was so pissed that I managed to get a confession out of her. She was very much just like, "Yeah, I did that." Literally over me not wanting to spend every waking second with her. And the best part of it is that she threatened me on camera. So I cut out the part about the poison makeup and told her if she didn't tell my friends, coaches, and significant other what she was doing, I would send the video to everyone. So she admitted to all of her crimes, and I got back on the team, I got my friends back, and my boyfriend apologized. I ended up totally fine, and she ended up losing credibility with basically everyone.
Extremely creepy story time on how my aunt passed away. So a little background information. About 5 years ago, my aunt had gotten pregnant. It was really weird because a few months before she got pregnant, the doctor told her that she would never be able to have kids. And her husband had been trying for years. Well, I think like 2 weeks after the baby was born, it had passed away. And I don't really know why. For some reason, my mom won't tell me. Which is weird, but anyways, after that, my aunt just felt like a lot of things weren't going the way that she wanted them to in her life, so she decided to get closer with God. Well, every Sunday night, we go to my grandparents' house for a family dinner, and while we were there, my aunt starts going on this whole rampage. She said that God's not giving her the answers that she needs, and I don't really know what she means by answers. So my grandparents kick her out because she's acting like a psycho. Well, the same night at 3 a.m. in the morning, we hear her knocking on the door, and lo and behold, it's my aunt. So my mom lets her in because she feels bad and feels like she's the only one that will actually listen to my aunt. So she makes everybody sit at the kitchen table. She pulls out a Ouija board from her bag. Creepy story time about how my aunt passed away, part 2. So like I said, she makes us all sit down at the kitchen table and she pulls out a Ouija board. She was like, "I found out how I can get some answers. I just feel like I need you guys around me for positive energy." And my family is very, very religious. Like, we don't that. Because my mom felt bad for her, she let her use it in our house. But my mom didn't want my sisters and I around that, so she just sent us to bed. Well, the next morning, I wake up and I ask my mom what happened with the Ouija board situation. My mom just said that it was really scary, because before she thought it was like a load of bull. And she said that her and my dad didn't touch the Ouija board, because like I said, they were very religious and did not mess with that stuff. But apparently, it said for her not to buy a house with the numbers 2815. Well, 2 years later, my aunt got remarried, and her husband ended up having 2 kids. So they bought a new house, and no, it didn't have the numbers on it. One of their kids accidentally shattered the glass door, so they went and got a new one, and it came with those exact numbers on it. 2 days later, the house burnt down and nobody survived.
Story time on why I tried to run over my science teacher because he was a pervert. So back in 2015, I went to a university, which I'm not going to say the name of because I don't want them to know that I'm talking about them. And I majored in nursing, and usually when you major in that type of field, you usually get a lot of like science classes. So my first year, I took chemistry, which all the students have to do for their first year. It was a requirement. And my science teacher, we're gonna call him Mr. Jackson. Mr. Jackson was like in his 40s, middle age. He had a wife and 2 sons. I know this because he plastered them all over the damn desk. His class was hard, but he was a really nice teacher. And whenever I needed any help, I could email him. I could come to his classroom after school hours. This went on for the whole year. So one day, I leave his class really late. He offers me a ride back home to my apartment, and of course, I said yes. This is when it gets sus. This is part 2 of why I tried to run over my science teacher because he was a pervert. So, like I said earlier, I left his class late. It was really dark, and he asked if I needed a ride home to my apartment. And of course, I said yes, because I thought it might be safer for me to get a ride from him than for me to be walking late in the dark at night. So I give him directions on where to go. He'd ask me questions about things outside of school, and I thought it was nice because it seemed like he genuinely cared. Halfway there, he tells me that he's hungry, and if I minded if he parked to the side so he could order food for his house. He ordered his food and then just sat there. And I was like, so are we going to go? Then literally, out of nowhere, this man starts bawling. I felt awkward, but I asked him what was wrong. He starts talking about his family and his wife and divorce. Thought it was weird, but I tried to console him. Then he looks at me, starts rubbing my knees, and says, this is why I adore you. It gets crazier. This is part 3 of why I tried to run over my science teacher because he was a pervert. So he grabs my face and literally tries to kiss me. I was like, what the heck are you doing? He was like, come on now, I know why you came. In my head, I'm like, And he's like, look, just do me this one favor and I give you an A in my class. And I was like, nope, I'm leaving. And he yanks me back closer to him. And guys, I don't know what it is, but I got this like body trigger. Like the moment someone touches me, I'm throwing hands. And I'm messing up Mr. Jackson so bad that he had to hop out of his car. And at that moment, I just saw red. When he got out, I closed and locked his doors. He was yelling at me to get out. By the way, guys, I cannot drive, but that day I just decided to drive. And I swerved, almost crashing the car, trying to run over him. He runs off and runs into the bushes somewhere. From there, I hopped out and ran.
Story time on how I found my daughter without even looking for her. When I was 15,